Greetings and welcome to The Thirsty Mage, the podcast heavily invested in the future of intelligent systems. Welcome to the podcast, I'm David Lloyd, and in this episode we'll be comparing and contrasting two of the longest running Nintendo series, Advance Wars and Fire Emblem. It was 42 years ago this year that Intelligent Systems got its start programming the first game in each of the series. That would be Famicom Wars and Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light. Since then, Intelligent Systems has been in the driver's seat, making basically the Fire Emblems, because as we'll get to in this podcast, Advance Wars may be dead and gone, but it's still worth to have a fun conversation with it. And joining me is the man still hoping that Intelligent Systems has forgotten about Persona. It's Casey Gibson.
Yes, I think Advance Wars has a pulse, maybe. It's unconscious, but there is a pulse with the re-release. And then, the worst thing is I already know the next Fire Emblem that's getting announced is no doubt going to be Two Houses 2, or Three Houses 2, It's like, no doubt about it. Ugh.
Yeah, it's going to, instead of, it'd be funny if it was... like a modern day, it was like Three Houses, but in modern Tokyo,
it's just literally Persona.
Yeah,
and there's a mystery.
Yeah, they're not even beating the bush. They're just like and they'll take a little bit of Fire Emblem Engage, and they'll make the characters, like they'll make the warriors like basically like demons that you can summon in combat and stuff. It'll be like just a complete ripoff. No shame.
Yeah. It's like, look, Anna's in it. Don't worry, she sells you the goods. It's definitely a Fire Emblem game.
Yeah, modern jazz soundtrack.
Really flashy, cool menus.
Yeah, lots of colors. Red theme.
Yeah. Oh man. Hopefully not, but probably.
Nintendo, no issues chasing that money.
No.
Yep.
Dirty dogs.
Yeah. But before we get into our conversation, I just want to let everyone know that as of September 1st, the next RPG Club game is Fire Emblem Engage. We're going to be starting that up on September the 1st. If you're listening to this after September the 1st, you're still welcome to come in. Yeah, you could catch up. It's okay. So if you want to join us, you head on over to thethirstymage.com and click on the Discord link. That will send you to our Discord, and we have a dedicated channel for Fire Emblem Engage. So just to give you a kind of a rundown of how it works, this is our fourth or fifth RPG Club game. So basically what we do is we set a pace, nothing too bad. It's, we're usually aiming for 30 to 45 minutes a night, or about 3 hours a week or so. And we kind of set some flag positions of like how far you should be getting into the game, and we'll discuss things as we go along and help each other out along the way. And we have a good old time. And at the end, whoever wants to join us for a podcast episode to kind of do a retrospective or a spoiler cast on the game after it's all said and done, we do that. So if you want to get an idea of that, we have an episode already up for Dragon Quest 3. And the other games are escaping me now. I know we got a Cyberpunk 2077 in the works as we speak right now. And we got a good amount of people in there. So like I said, you can head on over to the Discord through thethirstymage.com.
The good thing real quick too about Fire Emblem Engage, if you have not played a Fire Emblem game, like they've added so much accessibility. So there's, easy mode or casual mode where, characters, they could die in a specific battle, but not just be gone the entire game. So if you ever thought about it, it's definitely a place to jump in where, it's pretty welcoming.
Yeah. And the first few hours of the game, very, very tutorial heavy. So it's very
David's
much
favorite.
Yeah, they hold your hand quite a bit, and they early on to make sure that you kind of get your bearings and understand the gameplay system. So,
to be fair, most people don't play like 7 Fire Emblems in 1 year. So,
yeah, that is true. But those 7 Fire Emblems have given me the knowledge that I need for our discussion tonight on, the differences between the Advance Wars and the Fire Emblems. So. I know for me, I'm, like you said, much more heavily invested in Fire Emblem at this point. Been through about 7, like I said, 7. Oh, I don't know if it's 7, but it's pretty close. 5, at least 5 somewhere between 5 and 7 this year alone.
Too many to count.
Too many, yeah. Like there was at one point where I think I like finished a game between a game and forgot I played it. It was that close. And then, as I'm blowing through the Fire Emblems, I was like, maybe I should play some other games. So I jumped on the Intelligent Systems bandwagon and started Advance Wars. So this was the
I'll
GBA
play the
game.
closest thing.
That's right. Yeah. I'll play that other game that Intelligent Systems make, that other strategy RPG. So, yeah, Advance Wars. It's hilarious. The release schedule of Advance Wars is like the curse of all curses. Because the original Advance Wars, like, so the first time it came out in the West was the GBA game Advance Wars, released on September 10th, 2001. Apparently, from things I could read and I've heard, it actually in most places, like, the official release date was the 10th, but apparently it wasn't really available until the 11th.
Because the 11th was a Tuesday.
Yeah, so anyone who wasn't paying attention to the news did not have to fight the lines apparently to get their copy of Advance Wars. And then the recent release, or the recent remasters of the first two Advance Wars was, I think it was supposed to come out in 2021, I think, or
yeah, right. Well, look when Russia invaded Ukraine, that was it.
Yeah, and then Nintendo decided. Maybe it's not the best time to release a game about wars, so they delayed it a couple years, and it finally came out in 2023. And it's a bit unfortunate because it seemed like they might have been, Intelligent Systems may have been passing the baton on to Way Forward. I think this might have been one of those things where it's like, we'll give it to Way Forward to do the remaster, and then perhaps they may propose a new Advanced War style game and kind of run with it. But so far we haven't heard anything. But yeah, it's an interesting series. It's a much different style of game from what I've experienced so far. But that, Casey, what's your experience with the Wars games?
So I played these when they came out on the GBA back in the day. I vividly remember playing. I don't remember it was the first or second one, but I remember like there was a period of my life where I'd be going to bed at like 11 o'clock at night for school, and I'd be like, "All right, it's 10 o'clock. I better get into bed and play an hour of Advance Wars before I go to sleep." And like that would be I go do a mission or so.
Yeah.
So I played both of those on the GBA. I would say I definitely played the DS one, but I don't know if I beat it. I'm looking at the cover. I definitely had this game. I don't remember if I beat
Days of Ruin or Dual Strike. There's actually two on the DS.
Oh, all right. I'm looking at Dual Strike. Maybe I played Dual Strike, but I didn't play Days of Ruin. I think that would be because look, this came out in 2000. Yeah, because I would have been in college at this point. So I think like freshman year, my interest in Advanced Wars Days of Ruin was probably very low. But I definitely played Dual Strike. Yeah, because that came out in 2005. And then I think I played the first Battalion Wars on GameCube. But I did pick up the remaster or the remake or whatever, reboot camp, if you will. And it's funny. I was like, I feel like I barely even played it. It was one of those, I had an extra voucher for the, through the Nintendo program. And it was one of those like, okay, I'll buy it. 'Cause it's free,
Free.
45 already spent or whatever it is. But so I was like, funny, I reinstalled it on my Switch 2 and brought up my save file, and it was I put in like 9 hours and change, and I was like 40%. I don't know if that's through the campaign or I don't know if the percentages are like extra stuff. Probably the campaign, I'd imagine. So yeah, so I definitely do like it. I haven't, again, I guess I played 9 hours of it about a year or two ago. But yeah, I like it. It's a fun series,
Yeah, so I've been playing Advanced Wars the past week or two, and yeah, I'm not sure how far I'm in. I think I put about 6 or 7 hours in. And it's funny because it really feels like, especially after playing the GBA Fire Emblems, you can really feel that intelligent systems, like the strategy combat, because the whole grid system and the way the units work and stuff, like it has a very similar feel to it to a certain extent, I guess, but it's a much different experience. With the way Fire Emblem works, you have each character is individual, and their attacks are like independent, basically, of their health. Whereas one of the big changes for me coming into the Advanced Wars is the fact that like your attacks are based on your HP, because it's like the amount of units you have left in your the number of fighters, I guess, in a unit. Like you'll have a tank and it'll have like 10 health, and if it gets attacked and it drops down to 6 health, then it's not as powerful as another tank that's at full health. So it's a bit of a different system that way. I guess the other thing that I noticed too is that it seems like, to me anyway, is that it seems more puzzle like, in the sense of uh, each of the missions seem to have like a very specific way where it's like, no, we want you to win the mission this way. Like, you get a certain amount of infantry, a certain amount of tanks, and maybe some of the missions will have planes or helicopters or submarines and boats or whatever. But when you look at the map, you're kind of like, okay, I see the path to either taking the headquarters of the other army to kind of automatically win the stage,
The
uh,
checkmate.
the checkmate, or seeing how many units they have, sort of thing, and being like, okay, like I could take out the units pretty quickly. Maybe that's the quickest way to get it. And yeah, so you can kind of see what they want you to do, and then it's whether or not you do the right moves to basically set yourself up into that way. And then they have a ranking system afterwards, based on how well you do, like how quickly you end
You
end
might
the
have won,
stage.
but boy, did you suck.
Yeah.
That's usually how my end screens go.
Yeah, I
You
got a
lived
lot of
past
A
the finish
ranks.
line, pal.
I got a lot of A ranks, and then all of a sudden I got an S rank, and I'm like, "There's an S rank!" Like,
Yeah. Oh, look at this, Mister Fancy Pants over here with his passing grades.
yeah. I think the lowest I had was a B, and even that made me sad. I'm like, oh,
Whew.
B.
Dude, that was what, like, playing like Bayonetta games, like the character action games. Oh man, like there's no worse feeling. Like, man, all right, that level was fun. I did pretty good. And they're like, dude, you were pathetic, bro. Like, oh my goodness. And
Oh,
it's
I
like,
need to
oh,
play Bayonetta. Never
one
played
and
one.
two are very good.
Yeah, I think they're pretty cheap now these days too, and I don't think
I
they're.
think they go on sale a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're on Steam now, right? Like they're not a Nintendo exclusive, I don't think, right?
Um.
Maybe not
No,
on
I don't think
Steam.
so. They should be on Steam. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Yeah, so it's funny. Like this is another series too, very similar to Fire Emblem, where there is like a whole bunch of games that were only released in Japan beforehand. Um, where it was funny because like Hudson Soft originally, I know Intelligent Systems was the one. I think my understanding of like the first Famicom Wars and Game Boy Wars was that Nintendo. It was developed by Nintendo, but then Intelligent Systems was like the programmers, I guess. Like they put together the vision,
Yeah, in
and then
conjunction with.
yeah, and then they gave the keys to Hudson Soft at that point, for a bunch of Game Boy Wars uh, games. And it's funny, I was watching some footage of those, and it's like the comedy value of those is hilarious. Um, it's funny. Famicom Wars and Super Famicom Wars have two very similar openings. Like it's almost exact, but there's a little bit of a difference. But they remind me of a Bugs Bunny cartoon, because there's the games, like the intro movie is like there's like a red guy and he's got a gun and he's like chasing the blue guy, and then the blue guy comes back with the tank and he's chasing the red guy, and then the and they're all going like off screen, and then they come back and the blue guy's running away because this red guy comes out with a tank that like takes up the entire screen.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and it's hilarious. And so then the red guy, like, he shoots this cannonball out of the tank, but it's so heavy that it just drops in front of the tank. And so the blue guy walks up and kicks the ball into the tank, and it explodes. And
That's funny.
yeah, it's hilarious. So they have one, and it's like almost exactly the same. In this, so that's the Famicom one, and the Super Famicom one is pretty funny because it does that, but instead, so it has like the red guy chases the blue guy comes back with the tank, and then this big red tank comes out, but then this great big blue tank comes out in the Super Famicom one. But then what happens is that uh, the tank falls flat on the ground, and it's revealed that it wasn't really a tank; it was just a cardboard cutout to scare the red guys away.
That's
And
pretty funny.
oh, you have to watch it to just the intros at least because they're
Truly
hilarious.
appreciate it.
Yeah. But the Super Famicom like graphics and playstyle looks very similar to the GBA versions. Like you can really see like where the GBA aesthetic comes from. Like they're very similar, which makes sense because the GBA was
Yeah, and the
basically like a
SNES was
handheld
pretty.
SNES. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm watching a video now. Yeah, I just saw that intro. It's pretty funny with the and he's running back and forth like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, this actually looks pretty cool. I'm surprised they like wouldn't bring this over on like the NSO. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, well, it's one of the things where I almost kind of want to look up to see if there's a fan translation because
I
it
bet. I
looks
mean,
pretty neat.
so this video I'm watching is in English, so there must be a fan translation somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah,
yeah, it's NES, Super NES, Super Famicom Wars, and yeah, it's like everything's labeled, so um, there's got to be out there somewhere.
yeah,
Not that you should do that. but yeah, I like that it has like real time strategy elements in there, right? Obviously, it's still like turn based, um, but like just the resources and like being able to build different units and stuff like on the battlefield instead of obviously Fire Emblem, you go in with who you have, and of course you do run into people you can recruit and things along those lines. But I mean, obviously if you've been listening to the show, I like those old RTSs on the computer, so to have a bit of that thrown into a game like this on a console or handheld, I remember it was like a big selling point for me back in the day. What I liked to, was that aspect of it, because I played Fire Emblem. I guess I was an intelligent system stan way back in the day too, and didn't even really realize it. But I liked Fire Emblem back in the day too, and I guess overall, I like Fire Emblem more. But I like that Advance Wars, like you said, sort of like the cartoony. It doesn't take itself too seriously.
yeah,
It's very much wars fun.
yeah.
Like we're out here just having a good old time. But yeah.
Well, and one of those like where the sides are like respectful and honorable to each other, sort of thing. Like I remember like the CEOs, like they all know each other.
Yeah,
Like
they're old chaps.
yeah, like Olaf and the sniper guy whose names escape me right now. Like we're all part of the your army at one point, and yeah, so they all know each other, and like, oh, well, he wasn't such a bad guy back then. I wonder what happened.
It's like,
Um,
yeah, that old guy from college. Yeah, I remember him. That shoot the nukes at him.
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing is like the CEOs are talking to each other like they're just playing chess, and there's like no mention of like all the people that just got massacred out on the
The
and the
carnage.
cities or buildings that get captured in the meantime. Like it's very very goofy that way.
Like,
But
so there's a couple POWs, whatever. We'll just
yeah,
produce some new ones.
yeah, we fed them well. Come on.
Yeah, we gave them a good life while they were over here.
Yeah. Well, it's funny the strategy like in the missions, like you said, where you have a base that where you can actually like purchase units and stuff. It gave me a very Command and Conquer vibe because it's like there's your base, and then if you go and take over these other cities, then you will earn more money, and you can and each turn like you'll be able to buy more units, and then the fact that the whole list of available units is there, because usually I would just go for like, oh, I'll just take a medium tank, thanks. I'll just wait for the medium tank and buy that one. But yeah, I guess if you're, like I said, it's funny because they kind of encourage you to finish as quickly as possible, but then there's like the ability to kind of take your time with it and kind of be a little methodical with those builder with the
Build
mission,
it. Yeah.
like building your
I
army. And
want a dominating win.
yeah. I also find the AI kind of funny because there's a lot of like, well, I'll just put my infantry in the area of attack for the enemy, and then I'll just park my tank next to him, so that the computer will stupidly send a tank off to kill like the lowly infantry, and then my tank will just blow it off the
Take
road.
care of the business.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny. I'm sure it gets harder later in the game, but I just noticed, especially in the early missions, the I guess it's Olaf's army, not so bright. I guess the Fire Emblems can be that way too, to a certain extent, where like you can kind of goad them into making stupid decisions. Where you're like, oh, here, I'll put my guy here, and just ignore the four other guys ready to pounce on you as soon as you move into my area.
Yeah, I wonder if that, I guess, being sort of a sign of the times, right? Like, we can only go so hardcore with how well the AI plays. Um, to some extent, I forget. Is there like I'm pretty sure on the remake there's like a easy mode and a normal mode. I forget if there's a hard mode. Do you remember if there's like difficulty settings on
Oh, that's a
when you
good
fired it
question.
up?
I don't remember there being difficulty settings, like unless you can go into the. I don't remember them asking. That's for sure. Like maybe there's somewhere in the options, but
Uh, So I'm looking, at least on reboot, there's a casual and a classic mode. And it
oh,
appears
okay.
that casual seems that this is off a message board, so take it with a grain of salt. Casual seems to have fewer enemies as a whole and makes the CO under your control stronger. We saw Andy deal more damage than he should have. This was likely due to casual.
That's interesting.
Someone said idiot mode and normal mode. So funny. Yeah, classic mode is default difficulty option. It's normal mode from the original games. Casual is almost exactly the same as classic mode, with two differences. You seem to have a higher luck value, and some maps have either a couple enemies removed or a couple units downgraded. So yeah, I guess maybe the the original was just sort of a straight shot.
Yeah. Well, the commanding officer abilities certainly gives the game a very distinct feeling. Like I was at the point I had three COs. I guess at that point I had Andy, oh, the gunner guy, I can't think of his name now, and Sammy, and and it's funny, I almost felt like Andy. I've heard people talk about Sammy being the best, but I just couldn't get her. I just never got a feel for like the best time to use her ability. Whereas with Andy, usually I would just like fire everyone at them, and then like, okay, I got all these guys injured now, just heal everybody right before they counterattack or whatever. So I felt like I was getting a pretty decent flow with Andy's ability. And then the other guys, I can't think of his name now, but the guy who he gives you the extra hit, or he gives you like a stronger hit for a turn or whatever. He it was all right. Like I used his a couple times, and Max, I guess it is Max. I used Max's ability a couple times, but I didn't feel like it was as strategically useful as Andy's. And then I didn't find the enemies COs too, like the Blizzard one is hilarious because to me it like I don't know if it ever really affected me in any of the ones where I fought Olaf. where it's like, okay, for one turn I can't go as far. It's like,
Yeah, it's not
it's
the
like,
end of the world.
yeah. So I'm like, all right, I'll just wait out a turn. It's not a big deal. Um, the sniper guy was could throw you off a little bit though, because like I would think I'm outside the range, and then all of a sudden, like now he's shooting my guys, which
Yeah,
was
yeah, we're
particularly,
screwed.
yeah, like the ones where the artillery was like a big deal. Yeah, it would definitely screw me on a couple of those. I think the worst though was, of the ones I played so far, was the I can't remember the army, but I think it was like the green army, where it was the guy who could do two strikes in one turn.
Ooh, yeah, that's. You said it's hard to like you account for one thing, and then all of a sudden those definitely turn the battle on its head.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's quite the wrinkle, because you never really run into that with Fire Emblem. Like everyone, you kind of know everyone on the, on the field, and you know what they're capable of, and there's no. I
Except
can't
for
think of
that
any.
random 3-pack that comes out when you take too long and kills your one guy in the corner
That's
that you weren't
that's true.
expecting.
That's true. All this, yeah, where yeah, you'll like hide your weak guy over the corner, because you're like, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, bud, I can't, you're not strong enough to be in this fight, so we're just gonna put you over here, and then yeah, like that's when, right at the end of the mission too, they pop
Oh,
out of
that's happened to
nowhere.
me, dude. And that was back. I remember when I was like in that, you know, I'll be damned if I lose a person. I'll start over even if it's the last turn, And it's like there goes a whole hour, dude, because I feel like they do that when you take too long. It's like, all right, we'll just throw in a couple random troops here and there, but man, is it annoying.
Yeah, and they must like add it in after too, because it seems to me like they know what your plan is, and then it's like a kick between the legs as soon as
Kicking the
like you
nards,
get to
as they
that.
say.
Yeah, like they just know, like, we know you're gonna do this, so we're gonna code it so that when you do it, you're gonna find out about it. Like, it's just
We're gonna lose you an hour of real life time right
yeah,
here.
yeah. Uh, and like when you play Fire Emblem now, like what are you playing? Or do you play casual with no permadeath, or do you go classic with permadeath?
I think I've moved on from permadeath
Yeah,
just because I don't have all the time in the world anymore. So
yeah,
I think usually I start on like normal difficulty, but not permadeath. But I don't go in there like, all right, I'm gonna sacrifice 80% of the team to get the dub. Like
yeah,
I still try to play it pretty smart. I just and if I lose someone, generally I'll be like, oh, whatever, dude.
yeah.
And then I probably have dropped it down to easy mode at some point, like in later stages, I'm sure. Um, because as much as I enjoy these games, I guess my big dumb head isn't smart enough to tactically tackle them like not like David with his S's and his A's.
Well, it backfired on me, because I had played one of the later Fire Emblems first, and I was on no permadeath, so I had no qualms about sending someone off.
Mm.
Go down a legend. It's like you go off, well, I guess it was Valentia. I played Valentia with no
Oh, what a
permadeath.
good game!
Yeah, and so I had no issues. I'm like, oh, this guy's like low on health, so I'm just gonna send him off. Like, go try to weaken them before they off you or whatever, and it's fine, because at the end of the mission, when the mission's done, they're still around. And then after I played Valentia, I went back to one of the older games with permadeath, and was it a rude awakening?
Yeah.
Because I was like,
Wow,
what do you mean he doesn't come back?
these games are definitely harder.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's funny because I don't know. I guess just when I play these games, like I just blow through it too quick, and then it's like, oh, in reality, that was like a real stupid move. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah,
I don't know. But yeah, no, I'm definitely not great at these games, but they
yeah,
are fun.
yeah. Like, to me, like, I'm finding Advance Wars much more difficult compared to Fire Emblem. In like,
I think it's because
especially
you can
getting,
beef your boys up. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like some of those units, especially, and I'm Fire Emblem, I should say, I'm talking about, especially when you've promoted them and reclassed them, and all of a sudden it's like this is just a literal unit. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And then especially then all of a sudden you're playing the the weakness, or you're playing your strength against their weakness in terms of weapons, and then like, yeah, I feel like you could really do some crazy work.
I guess that's the thing is like in Advance Wars, you're always like no one has an advantage per se. Like you might be in a put into a mission where maybe they have more units or you have more units, whatever. But the units are always equal. Like my medium tank is always going to be the same as their medium tank, or
They're like
uh,
chess pieces more so
yeah,
than, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, there's never like, because I guess that's the thing is I the way I play the Fire Emblems is I usually like stick to the same people and like you said, just beef them up. Like
Have
as
like
soon
a,
as
a
I
unit of like 8 that are just like strong.
yeah, like so, and then people I pick up along the way, I'm just like, no, you're staying on the bench. Like you're no,
Get off the field, twig boy.
yeah. It's like we're a well-oiled unit at this point. It's like there's no like I'm on third class of this guy, and he's like level 30, and you're just coming in at this like level 5 basic. Like I'm sorry there, Chuck, but you'll be sitting on the sidelines for a while here.
Well, that was like the original Fire Emblems, or early Fire Emblems that I played. I so always remembered, like, I'd be on the message boards, like I was really nerdy with it. And they're always like, yeah, that weak guy who you recruit and he's got like a bucket on his head and he fights with a rake. It's like, that's
Yeah,
actually the strongest guy in the game. Like, you just need to beef him up. And it's like, oh,
was that real? Because I had that guy
I'm
and I
pretty.
never played him.
Yeah, the guy with the bucket on his head, dude.
Oh, I
He's
should
like an
have.
absolute monster from what I remember. Like if you train him up right, like he's got, I think, some of the best stats in the game.
Ah, dang! I should have. Because I guess that's the thing
Donald,
with.
right? There it is.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Because
he was. I remember,
I'm
like,
so
yeah,
mad
he's
now.
really good.
Yeah, because I remember playing that one and I always want to. That's an Awakening, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Um, I always want to get everyone. Like I always want to make sure that I've recruited everyone, even if I don't use them. Like I still want to just like recruit them. And I remember
Oh
getting
yeah,
that guy,
yeah. You got to. You got to.
and I'm like, man, this guy's useless.
Yeah. Who's this nerd?
Yeah, they're like, I think there was something, there was a reason. I think I had to like class him up to level 3 for something, and then I'm like, this is annoying. Like, forget it. Like, I got him to where he needed to be to get whatever achievement I needed or item or whatever it was, and I'm like, never again, bud. You're so useless. And so,
And
like,
little
yeah,
did
I
he know.
never. Yeah, that's on me, I guess.
Next time, next playthrough in a decade, when you're back to playing
Yeah,
Awakening again.
that's right. When I circle back at some point. Um, I don't know. Awakening was pretty good, but like you said, Valentia is still number. It's funny. The first Fire Emblem I played is still my favorite. No, I guess it's not the first because Three Houses was my first.
Yeah. Well, I guess you know what? That's unfair because anything you played after Three Houses was going to be so much better that it would,
Yeah,
hold a higher regard. But yeah, no, Shadow Valentia is amazing. I
yeah,
think Awakening, like I said, Awakening was the first real change into adding. Like, there's, obviously in the originals, you still get those support chats. When you're close on the battlefield. But yeah, I feel like Awakening was really the first one to like ramp it up.
yeah.
And I guess, for whatever reason,
The mini personification with the
early
relationships.
personification. Yeah. Although that came out, let's see, Fire Emblem Awakening. When is that? It had to be like 2011?
Yeah,
No. 2012. Okay. So, yeah. When did
Persona
Persona
4
4?
would have been 2010, right? Or 2011?
So, 2008 original release, but
Oh,
that's not golden. That's just regular. So it probably was maybe influenced a little bit, but not
yeah.
quite. But it wasn't, like, oh, we're school kids, you know.
Yeah, it's different because like yeah, there's the romancing option or whatever,
You
but
can have a baby and they'll be fighting with
yeah.
you tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the thing is there's no kids in Persona. It's like you're yeah. Fighting
Honestly,
tomorrow.
Awakening's absurd if you really think about it. We're
Oh,
just gonna send our kids to this realm where they just age so much faster. so
Well,
we could use them on the battlefield.
Birthright is even more absurd because they add the relationship thing in, and then like the having kids thing doesn't even make sense because they have the like so you build up the relationship, they have the kid, and then the parents decide, oh, it's we're currently in a war, it's not safe, so we'll just put our kid in another dimension, but that other dimension's time changes differently. So the next time we go in, they're like in their 20s now.
Oh, maybe that's what I was. That's I think. Yeah, I must have mixed my games up because that's what I was alluding to as well. Yeah, like
Well, Awakening does that too, though, but for a different reason. Because in Awakening, the way they're fighting with their kids because the kids came from the future.
oh, okay. This kid, Fire Emblems, dude.
I
Oh my
know, right?
goodness.
It's insane. Like when you
All to
actually like
appease
think
to
about
the
it.
horny people out there who just got to have a kid in their Fire Emblem games. I
Yeah.
need my waifu.
Well, that's the thing. So yeah, so Awakening, what would happen is, so there's a point where like the I guess like the good dragon sends all the kids of the care of like Chrome and the characters that are currently fighting in Awakening. All the kids are sent from the future to the past to help their parents fight the fell dragon or the bad dragon. And that's why every time you build a relationship, then you like quote unquote find that couple's child in the world,
so,
which
so,
is really hilarious. So you have like all these group of people with all these kids, and yeah, their parents fighting with kids. They're all the same age, makes no sense. But then Birthright. So I think my theory is that when they were making like the Pokemon, this is the Pokemonification of Fire Emblem, in my opinion, because you had Conquest, Birthright, and Revelations. I think like three different versions of the same game. Um, in that one, yeah. So they added the relationship mechanic. I think just because Awakening sold so well, but then their reasoning for bringing the kids back into that one is like ridiculous because it's like
the realm. That's so
yeah,
wild.
there's like another realm. So they're like, oh, we're gonna put our kids in this other dimension because it's too dangerous here. That we don't want them in a war. But then like they're like literally not there for them to grow up. so
Yeah.
so they go, they'll get like a distress call from their kid, or they'll they'll go check on their kid and in this other dimension, and then when you get there, they're like they're your age now, and they want to fight with you, so you bring them back to the to your war anyway. And now like everybody's the same age. Like the Birthright, the Conquest ones are like, they're like, the reasoning behind that is ridiculous. Like I just think they wanted the Awakening
Oh yeah, they knew
money,
what was a big factor in selling
Yeah.
Awakening for sure.
I feel like they should have put a little bit more work into coming up with like a plot line that wasn't so ridiculous. So
Yeah, but all these games like Engage too, right? Like they're like, all right, we got to get a way to bring in some old favorites.
yeah. Well, yeah, I guess like Engage. I'll give them props for at least like having a better reason for bringing it back. Well, and I
Oh
guess the
yeah,
other thing
no,
too is
the
that at least
dimensional one
their
is just so
character,
cruel too.
yeah. Well, and it's funny too
Like
because the
literally,
parents are like, "Oh, I'm
screw 'em.
sorry, I haven't been here for the first 20 years of your life, but yeah, come fight with mom."
But it's also like we can't have children in this climate, but we're selfish and we're going to do it anyway. But then we're
Yeah,
not going to take responsibility for our actions and we're going to send them to another dimension.
but
Sound like a bunch of boomers.
the kids really want to fight, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, bring them back.
yeah. As long as you really want to fight, then that's fine.
We could use some meat shields. Yep. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's the thing
But
in
yeah,
Birthright. I didn't need. I never even. I think I brought like 5 or 6 kids in, and I'm like, like I already have characters exactly like them that are stronger, so I never even ended up using any of them. I don't
send
think.
these pansies back to the other realm so they
yeah,
could die already.
yeah. They need to go there for age up another 10 years so that they're a little bit stronger. Uh, and I'm so sad with Birthright because like I got to the second last mission, and I just couldn't get. I was like, I'm like, I've lost all the momentum. I'm like,
Yeah, dude, I went
I can't get it.
ham on those games when they came out. My God.
Yeah.
I played Birthright and Conquest back to back, and then I played Revelations, which was like the third DLC
Yeah.
thing, like
Good lord.
shortly thereafter. Yeah, I played like all of them like real close together, and like, and it's like the most mid Fire Emblem game of all time, you know?
Yeah, they're definitely low on my list of the Fire Emblems. Like it's
Yeah, like they weren't bad. Like I remember enjoying them for sure. You know, I would not have done all three in such close succession.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that was when I was, you know, I was really into it, and when it came out in North America 2016 February. So that would have been like, yeah, I guess I think we came on staff at the end of 2016. So, but I was definitely listening to podcasts. Like that was I was definitely deep into to my gaming at that point.
Yeah. So we're at the point in history where basically Advance Wars is on life support. We may or may not see another Wars style, depending on Nintendo's
Next
flavor of
one
the
might
month.
be end of the world though.
Yeah, yeah,
It'll come
yeah.
out in their
You
World War
almost
Three.
you almost hope that Nintendo's not working on an Advance Wars, because then like what bad thing will happen in the world if Nintendo
They
was to
actually already have like three in the can complete, but they're afraid to
yeah
release them.
yeah yeah we cannot bring this horror upon the world. we
Dude,
must
I
we
would love
must
it
lock them
though.
in the vault.
Like they really should. I mean, I think it's a fun series. Um, you know, I think, like you said, it scratches a different itch than a Fire Emblem game. You know, it gives
Yeah,
you, you know, it's definitely, you know, like obviously side by side, you can see, you know, oh, you can see how they're both, you know, strategy games. They, you know, they both made by the same company, but they really do the gameplay, how it all plays out is so drastically different. And like, I feel like
yeah.
you really do have to plan, and you play the games, you know, pretty completely different. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know how well it sold. Reboot.
Yeah, and to a certain extent, with all the delays, like, can you really trust the sales anyway? Like, if it had got a real launch with like, because even when they released it in 2023, I don't feel like Nintendo really pushed it. Like, it was almost like, oh, I guess we have to release this because it's been too long, sort of like
Yeah,
whatever.
like just push it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking, and again, no like solid source here, but I do see a couple of posts and things talking about how not it didn't hit the 1 million mark. Um, Someone says around 700, or one thing says around 700K, which probably wouldn't be too bad, I would think. But then other things I'm seeing around 400 or 500. So, but either way, it seems consistently under 1 million. So I don't know what their target would have been. You know what I mean, on a
yeah.
re-release, which I mean they definitely put some work into it for sure. You know, but it's, you know, I can't imagine it's a crazy expensive game to produce. You know, definitely in comparison to others,
Well, and
but
that's the
yeah,
thing is, it also depends on like if we get a new, like if we get a Switch Wars or something, like would they utilize like the new like Fire Emblem games now look a lot different than GBA Fire Emblem games. So would they try to make something new based on the new hardware and the new capabilities, or do they stick with like the pixel style?
I mean they could
You
just
know,
use the reboot style.
yeah. So it'd be
You know,
interesting to see. Like, I would definitely want them to like lean into the goofy, because like I think at this point, like they need to, uh, you know, really lean into that. I think in that it's like, no, it is a war thing, war titled or whatever, and there's attacking and stuff, but it's still like just goof, like trying to just play up the goofiness of the war or whatever. I don't know if they
yeah.
what they do, but and I mean, at this point, it seems like Intelligent Systems is pretty focused on Fire Emblem. So, like at this point, if we do see another Advance Wars, is it just going to be? Is it going to be? It might be from someone new anyway, because really, it's funny. Intelligent Systems has a lot going on, really, because they're doing the Paper Mario's now too. Like they're the Paper Mario developer, and they're the WarioWare developer. Like they've got
Yeah.
like 3 long running franchises, and Fire Emblem's got to be keeping them busy.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the golden goose, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Engage was the last game that came out in the Fire Emblem series, and that was January 2023, so 2.5 years ago. You'd imagine they would want to get a Fire Emblem, early on in the Switch 2's lifespan, not necessarily the first year, but like you'd think, it wouldn't surprise me if they sort of release something next year.
Well,
Although
there's
they
rumors
do.
of the genealogy of the Holy War remake.
Do we know when that's coming out?
Well, it's never been officially announced. It's all rumors. Like
it
so,
is. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
I know that one's been talked about. I always forget if that's like.
And like you said, Four Houses has got to be the next game. Like there's no way they just made too much money. Like it's Nintendo.
Goodness.
They made too much money.
They're trying to save me $70, I guess.
Yeah. Well, just use one of those vouchers. And then it's free.
Nope, I won't do it. I will not buy a house game. No, sir.
No, I'm gonna hold you to it. I want to see what happens. I want to see.
It'll be one of those like the day of like, do I do it? And I'm like, nope, I can't. Fool me once, shame on you, right? Or me. No, on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yep.
No, I don't know. It will be fun. Like I said, I feel like they usually like to release those Fire Emblem games like early in the year, January, February time, Yeah. So obviously I don't expect we'd get one in 2026 early like that, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm sure we'll find out sooner rather than later.
Yep. Time will tell.
At least something they're up to. If it's not Fire Emblem, like you said, they got to be doing something.
Yep. Yeah, we will see. I guess that's a good place to end this week's episode. So, I'll just if you enjoyed this podcast, consider checking out our Patreon at patreon.com/thethirstymage. Because you could be getting these episodes weekly. Last week, the Patreon exclusive episode was a discussion about the Team Asano universe and the games that are there within, and what we've enjoyed so far in that universe and what we're looking forward to. And we've got I think we're up to 24, 25 episodes there. So if you want to get this podcast weekly, you'll have to check us out on the patreon.com. And it, just so you know, any on all funds that we're collecting,
David's
there,
hungry.
Pretty much. Yeah,
he's hungry, guys.
They all go to expenses. So
cheeseburgers.
They're going to somebody's cheeseburgers, not mine. They're going to Zencaster's cheeseburgers.
They're eating
WordPress. Good. Yeah, they're always eating good. Like I said, with the Fire Emblem Engage RPG Club, make sure to join us. There's a lot of us having a good time with that. So head on over to thirstymage.com and click on the Discord. But I guess until then, we'll see everyone out at the next Thirsty Mage. Bye for now.
Adios.